50s, so technically we've been racing since the 70s for sure, but this fairground's been around forever. But that's the thing, they were very interested in coming down and checking us out, and like you said, it was the
one thing I want to say really quick. I want to apologize, I forgot to click the mute button off on YouTube, so the first 10 minutes ish are muted on YouTube.
And
so
you can't read our lips because we're too dark, so you can't see us.
But one thing we are talking about right now, YouTube, is we're talking about Iowa Speedway. We're talking about all the cool stuff that we did up there. Super fortunate to be able to do that. Kevin and NASCAR kind of rolled out the red carpet for us, and we appreciated it very much. Huge thanks to our drivers that went up there too: Tony Hardesty, Josh Sink, Austin Paul, and Tanner Dixon for pulling their cars up there. I know it wasn't a very long haul for Austin Paul. The car was like 2 miles from the racetrack. That's where his race shop is. But for guys like Tanner, who had to pull over 2 hours, and Tony had to pull over 2 hours, huge thanks to those guys for bringing their race cars up.
And Josh is an Ankeny, so it wasn't so bad for him.
It was super cool, too, because when we were down there as well, kids were getting in the car, and kids were touching the cars and getting in the driver's seat, and their eyes would light up, and it was super cool. So hopefully next year we can be in a better location so we're not, as hidden as we were. And hopefully we can continue to do this for years to come, because there's not very many local dirt tracks that get to publicize their place on as big of a scale as the Iowa Corn 350 was. I mean, that was probably one of the biggest hyped races, I would say, on the NASCAR schedule this year, honestly.
And the other thing is, we got to be part of the NASCAR Experience stage, so we had 3 of our drivers got to do that. If you haven't seen that, make sure you go to our Facebook page. It is on there, and I have the entire 20 minutes uploaded myself, but anybody wants to check it out, but they need to check it out. That was a great experience, getting our drivers introduced. Evan was on there, and it was a good time. We had a pretty good crowd base there at that time, so that was really neat as well.
Thanks for letting us know, race fans. Tim and Jason, thanks for letting us know on the podcast for
the sound,
letting us know about the sound. So
also, once again, guys, it's Hall of Fame night. We got some Hall of Famers coming. I saw one drive through. I do believe the Bopper's come through with his fishing hauler out there with his fishing club.
He is like full bore on the fishing now.
It is. It's a cool deal what he's got started. So, he went from here to that. I think it's a cool deal, and he's got that up and going really well. So, they're going to be on here. Hopefully, Rick Bissell makes it here. I'm going to get my other cohort Hall of Famer here, Tim Cooney. I got to find him and see if he can.
You're not going to see Cole and I Muss on the show tonight, race fans. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but it's going to be my dad and all the Hall of Fame. This is my dad's show tonight. He looks forward to this all year, and I just let him do his thing. So
hopefully we got it set up so we can get 3 guests at a time here.
And hopefully we can get it set up to where you can figure out how to run this too.
Well, you can't walk away too far.
Oh, I can't walk away too far.
Some of these guys that are coming up here, if you can get 4 on a time, you could probably do a commercial-free show for 3 hours with some of those guys.
Pretty easy. Pretty easy. It usually is. Like I said, the nostalgia stuff you can talk forever on. It's amazing.
There's Cooney.
Yeah,
well, race fans, it's going to be a fun night tonight. We're going to have a long intermission tonight, so if you are here at the racetrack, we thank and appreciate you for coming. If you are on your way, we are racing, race fans. I know there was a chance of rain that was popped up. It was supposed to pop up right around 5 o'clock. I was watching KCSI weather, or KCSI, I was listening to it and watching KCCI on Channel 8 in Des Moines, and we just missed it. So Mother Nature was nice to us tonight. It is very humid out, race fans, so make sure you're drinking plenty of water tonight. Bring some cold towels if you need them, because it is going to be extremely warm tonight for a while until the sun goes down. So
I lost. There's a familiar face coming through the gate.
Guys. I had to mute you because when you move your mic, it's super loud.
Okay.
It's going to be a lot of stories told tonight, race fans. Going to be a lot of faces that you haven't seen here in years. It's going to be really, really cool, race fans. And this is probably one of my favorite inductee classes I think that we've had in a long time. Having Bob inducted and Rick and Steve, former announcers and the race car drivers that are getting inducted this year. The Ed Moore Steel is going to be really, really cool. They're bringing that 2X car.
Next week.
They're going to bring that next week.
There's some old stuff for you.
It's just cool to see. I think our Hall of Fame classes are starting to get to that point where it is guys that I actually was alive to watch. So it's
some of the guys that you mentioned, I'm like, I have no idea who that is. So
obviously the history is really important, but whenever now we're getting into stuff that I can connect with, it makes it even more. Where I can connect with that, and
that's
very,
the thing.
Very cool.
Something we've talked about with nominations. When we get the nominations set up and make the ballot, we've talked about how we need to send out a little bit of a bio on some of them because, like you just said, your generation has no idea who these guys are because you weren't even alive. So, and it's extremely deserving people because you get ballots and votes. I looked at that and I'm like, geez, it's all these younger guys that are, getting the votes because the people that are voting have no idea who the older ones are. So
right, that's the hard part about Hall of Fame is those names that are, people that have passed away, people that have come before you. It's important to get those people in there because we want to keep those names alive.
Just like Ed Morris, Fast Eddie. 1974, he won 12 of 19A features. So,
that's pretty impressive.
Won 10 in a row. So there's some good stories, and you can see in his bio some great stories. And that's
why we're going to have Tim up here too, because we see this is not our show tonight.
I think my dad was 10 years old that year.
so he raced from 6
my dad wasn't very old then too. Nope, my dad was probably 14, 12.
Yep. I remember coming here in 1965, 66. But I remember coming. I was trying to hitch a ride every day to come up here every Saturday to come to the races. That was the way I did because Mom and Dad had their own business, and it's just you couldn't get up here. But nope, I grew up here with the covered grandstands, which is what our Hall of Fame picture is. Tim can talk on that extensively, but we grew up here, and what I like about Tim talking is him and Jimmy Witchman. They've envisioned this forever. They even drew up pictures of what they envisioned this place, which it is like right now. They envisioned that this would happen, and that's pretty cool at a young age. You think this place would get this big like this, so that's a pretty neat deal. So
well, we're about 20 minutes in. We might as well take our first commercial break here. We're going to come back and we're going to have some guests on here soon. So Cole and I are going to exit the vicinity here in a few moments, and we'll get some new people in here, and we'll get the people that you guys actually want to listen to tonight, race fans. So, Lori, back to the studio. If you can hear us, we're going to go ahead and send her a commercial break. We'll be back with you here on Pitside Live.
Let's do 6. All right, thanks, Lori. Tim.
Did you see these?
Yeah.
Too busy at work to wait in a long line at Subway? Order online at order.subway.com. Simply register with your email and password and order away. You can also download the Subway app on your smartphone. Order up to 6 subs, salads, or pizza. Ready in 15 minutes once order is submitted. Also add chips, cookies, and drinks easily. And Subway's back to normal hours Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 11 p.m., Saturday 8 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sunday 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. Order online at Subway in Red Oak, Clarinda, Shenandoah. Best Finish Auto Sales and Service is proud of the quality used vehicles they sell and their dedication to serve the needs of their customers. Whether it's your first purchase or one of many that you've had, you can count on their dedicated sales staff to make the best buying experience possible. They also offer financing on your vehicle purchase. Best Finish can also take care of your service needs, from oil change, brakes, alignment, air conditioning, to any body shop and repair needs. Stop by Best Finish Auto Sales and Service at 209 Sharp Street in Glenwood for all of your vehicle needs.
What if we could harness the power of the sun by using the earth to transform the way we use energy? Water furnace geothermal systems are simply the most efficient way to keep your family comfortable. Winter or summer, day or night, rain or shine, without burning fossil fuels, giving you the freedom to focus on life.
Call Camlin Mechanical or visit camlinmechanical.com for your water furnace needs today.
Yeah, we're here. Sorry. I got it. I got this. I just didn't realize. Yeah, turned down. Welcome back, race fans, to Pitside live here at Adams County Speedway. And we got things switched up here. Evan's got his kickback on the YouTube channel. I'll go ahead and slide over here, and in a minute we'll get another Hall of Famer here. But I've got two of them here, showed up. I got the bopper here, Bob Harris, and we have the man that started the whole thing here,
That's
Alan
right.
DeBolt. Appreciate you guys coming.
The legend, the myth.
That's right.
Well, yeah, well, okay, here I am.
Yeah, that's right. So I tell you what, guys, I like it. We've been talking. This is my favorite show of the year every time, and usually an hour and a half isn't long enough because a lot of times you can sit here and talk nostalgia forever. That's the cool part about it. But you guys know full well. I mean, Alan, you can talk. You started this thing. I remember
From the trunk.
Yeah, exactly
From the
right.
yeah, that's exactly right.
It was interviews you recorded, and then you played them during the KMA during the week, right?
Yeah, we actually came up here, took some interviews, and then we would go back to the studio and try to do the show and put it on tape. And before the end of the night was over, I'd have to cut the tape about multiple times to take out all the language that maybe we would interfere once in a while. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. You know, Rick and I started us all together, and then Steve kind of came along after that, and we moved it out of the studio, brought it here to the racetrack, and then that's when things really got hot. It was fun.
Because one of the stories you told, and I kind of knew about it, was with Gail and Karen. Susan was helping at that time, and you started that show, and then you did a live show, didn't you? You were like doing play-by-play one night, wasn't it? Or?
We came up here one night, actually, a gentleman that from St. Louis that started working at KMA, and he's like, hey, man, I love racing. Let's go do racing. So, you know, we came up here and got the permission one night to actually do live from the racetrack. It was crazy because the power supply for that unit that's sitting there that you guys are broadcasting with here tonight, we left it back at the radio station. So I took off, met somebody halfway, brought it back up here. We got on just in time, and we did the show that night. And, you know, basically Susan had reached out to me after that, and she said, hey, why don't you guys think about doing like a pre-race show? We think that would be, you know, a better thing for you to do. And truthfully, I think it was, because, you know, it gives a chance to actually personalize the thing and talk to people and be more about what's actually happening here at the Adams County Speedway, as opposed to just watching cars go around the track and try to make things happen. So it was a great time, and well-deserved to be able to bring that type of show here.
Right. So that's the thing, and it's evolved to this. You know, we switched stations and stuff like that, but I look back and you know, I've been here since day one too, and what you guys started and how it evolved, and there's so many stories we can do. Because I'll tell you what, real quick here, you're hitting that headset on, because what you're going to be able to do, you're going to be able to hear but not talk. So I'm going to have to switch a mic, and we're going to microphone. So two of us have got to share a microphone to talk with. So I think if you try to talk, Rick, we can't hear you. No, that's a good thing. You can't hear us. So you can say all you want right now. We don't have to delete you or nothing right now. So I'll tell you what. So you guys go ahead real quick. I'm going to switch this stuff around because I want to get this set up to where we can do 4 of you, but you got to share a microphone. Somehow or other, mic isn't working. So I'm going to get this set up. So what do you got to say, Bob?
Oh, hey, it's an honor to be here. And, of course, obviously, Alan starting this thing, you know, way back in the day with Steve and Rick. And, you know, I think I came along in 96 or 98, something like that. I had just gotten back from overseas. And, you know, I started my teeth as a young boy in Sunset Speedway, listening to George Murphy. You know, George Murphy was probably having a fifth of scotch, you know, while he was calling the races up there at Sunset Speedway. But man, he puts you on the edge of your seat, and of course, you know, that was what when I came on board with Rick and Steve, that's what we definitely tried to emulate, was trying to put the fans on the edge of their seat and try to emulate what they were doing on MRN, and it was just a lot of fun to keep that technical aspect of it, but obviously doing the raw stuff. We wanted to put the race fans behind the wheel of the race car through our race call and keeping those informed, if their driver was broke in the pits or if they're going to come back and make it for the A feature, and the guys just did a great job in the infield to keep them up abreast of all that stuff.
I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
I never thought that you would sound this way on the radio. The first time that Alan, we did this show, it just you heard his recording back and you're going, that's not how I sound. Al, something's wrong with this stuff here, But it's been a great thing here at the Adams County Speedway. For Alan DeBolt called me, we used to do reel to reel over there. We wasn't ever live, remember, Al?
Right.
And we'd get on a tangent and start going, and pretty soon I'd screw it up, and we'd say a cuss word, and hopefully Alan backed it up far enough to get the cuss word out of there. And then about midway, we started coming up here and doing some driver interviews once in a while. And then we'd play them the next week. And then I don't know how many years we was at that, 1 or maybe 2 before we started going live.
Yeah, 1 for sure. I know we were, we were in studio 1 year, and I think we kind of came up here after that and brought Steve along with us at that point too. And, kind of the fun part for me is the legend that used to broadcast, right? You do all the race stuff here in Kirk Elliott. I mean, my goodness, that guy was so good. And Kirk and look out! Kirk and I talked one night, and he said, what about taking a microphone down in the pits and start doing some driver interviews and things like that? So I did. I was very green to this, but I thought, why not? So we'll do something different. And Kirk would call on me from time to time. Hey, you got an interview? Yeah, I got one for you. And so we'd kind of go back and forth. And then the radio station at KKBZ at that time, we took on MRN, and something that really hadn't been happening too much. I think Atlantic KSOM was carrying MRN at that time, but we took it on, and they gave me a shot to be able to go out and sell it and promote it and all that kind of stuff. And it all kind of tied together. We had MRN, we had the local racetrack. We were able to do everything right here, and it was a lot of fun.
Probably the biggest thing for me, though, out of all this when you're looking back is the stars lined up perfectly for us, because at the time we had a very active fair board up here. You guys was making improvements, putting these boxes in. You was inviting people to come to your racetrack. Gail Hempel and the Hempels did a great job of promoting and preparing a racetrack so racers wanted to come. And then the stories that we rolled into. We had a Peyton place every week. We had racers that was great. When you had from Kyle Burke having to put a bounty on him to the Wymans and the speakers switching a Ford and a Chevrolet and trying to get them up here in the modified. It was every week it was tuned into radio. So we couldn't have hit this any better as far as the storylines that lined up and the people behind the scenes, so to speak, that actually made this a great race. We just got the best seats in the house to announce it.
Yeah, we at the start of it, we were fans. We just got the job of having a microphone and report what we saw. And, like you say, the Carlsons and the Mueller races out there, and the Wyman speakers and the Kaziskis, all those guys, the Ritterbushes and the Hempels out there.
And then came Jim Toll.
And then Jim Toll, and then, the Van Eatons and all those guys. Those were the stars, and all we were just is trying to report all that information and give it to the, wrap it up in a little bow tie and give it to the fans. And, there was probably 3, and I said it in my little bio, that there was 3 FCC violations that all point to Rick, or some questions that that would just stun the show.
Steve had one of them.
Yeah, we just did not know how we could get through there. We went right to commercial break, but it was just a lot of fun to work with you guys and the racetrack. And like Rick said, the fair board was just so active, and I think the drivers, I'm not saying that the racing now it's a little different. We've lost that second and third and fourth generation of racers that have come in, because obviously it's really expensive, and everybody's involved in so many different sports and stuff like that, but it's not like it was.
Yeah, I'm going to interrupt here real quick. It sounds a little different with this microphone too, Rick, but you mentioned Jim Toll, and there's another one out there, Wide Open Wheat is out there, and he's in the Hall of Fame. But I don't mean to surprise you guys, but I do want to get you upstairs and do a little announcement tonight, by the way. So, and I might have to drag Rick over, and might drag out maybe Toll or something, because he texts me all the time. It's hilarious. Yeah, what's it look like up there this week? And it's like, and if we don't race, he's sending me pictures of walleyes. So it just cracks me up. But I need to drag you over there because we haven't got set up for pit reporting for a couple of years. We're getting cold, getting to get the taste of it here a bit. But I need to drag you over there and do like maybe one interview out on the front stretch and kind of like do that. And
yeah,
I'd love to if I can just know who it is, because half these people I'm going, who are you now? It was such a, because when you was here in the flow of week to week, you memorize them car numbers. You didn't even have to look at a program. And I was up here 2 years ago, and 3/4 of the cars up there, I'm looking at the program. Who is this? Alan asked me to go down to Gallatin to help him announce a football game at Gallatin, Missouri, and we're down there halfway through, and I called the fullback that wore number 33, the 33 car. So you really got to concentrate on that. But we are missing a member tonight.
Yes.
Steve. We lost Steve here in April.
Yep.
And he loved this. He lived for this. When Alan invited him onto the show to join us, number one, it took some pressure off Alan and I of having to create the whole story. And Steve always, he liked to be a prophet at times, so you had to listen to his sermon just a little bit, but he was usually really well-founded in that sermon. And so he would be enjoying this tonight. I know he's looking down, and he's going to gratitude for what you folks have done here tonight. But we are missing him, but we move on, and it was just such a great time up here. Just such a great.
One thing on that, Rick, a lot of people didn't know that, we never shied away from any controversy on our show with Rick and Steve and I, but a lot of people didn't realize, we almost kind of flipped a coin. Okay, you be the bad guy this time, I'll be the good guy, and Steve was always in the middle. He was kind of the debater, kind of got both sides, and he calmed the waters. But it was not, even if I thought it was a bad call or a good call, several times we got called on the carpet from the officials.
We torched Larry.
Oh yeah, I mean, poor Larry Drew. I mean, we were on him.
I remember getting a phone call one Sunday morning from Gail, or I know Steve. I can't remember if it was Steve first, I think. And, hey, I don't think we're got a job anymore. I said, let me call Gail. So that was hilarious. I remember that so well. So I don't know if you guys remember how that went down, but yeah.
Funny story. Gail walks out of the tower. I go, man, Drew is ruining this racetrack for you. And then nothing was said.
You can't make that call.
Here comes Larry Drew. So you don't like my calls? And I'm like, no, sir, you're doing just a good job. Just keep on. I'll just stay right here on my mic.
I opened the door one night, and I just walked in there because we was announced from the outside, and I don't know what call he made. And Larry's a great guy. There's fond memories looking back on Larry Drew and how much he came to be on our side after we got started on Rocky. But I opened the door, and I just looked at it and I said, you cannot make that call. And he turned around. There's some words in there that I really can't say, but told me to get the hell out of his window and shut the door. So
the part that I always loved about this show was when I first started this is I was kind of the guy that got us in and got us out, right? Got us into the program, got us back into a commercial break, back out of a break, and whatever. Steve was, as you mentioned, the philosopher, Rick. He'd sit there and talk about different things and how it went down. And then all of a sudden you had the zing, and that was Rick. And you're like, oh, my God, can we do that or can we not? And should we say that or should we not? And if we thought it was okay, we'd keep going on. If we didn't, we'd go to a commercial break, and then we'd talk about it in between.
To see Alan DeBolt's face, and trust me here, I know what I'm doing here, but because at certain times we didn't, but we're sitting out there, and we're talking about Dusty Whitehead, and I let a word out, and you're not supposed to let that word out, and Alan DeBolt's face went from he just looked at me, and Steve's over there laughing, and Alan goes, I think we're going to go to break. And before we went to break, Steve looked at me and says, what's the matter, Alan? He says, there's 2 F words you can't say on the radio, and he just hit one of them. We'll be back after this.
We interview drivers now, and, it's just the way it is sometimes, and it blurts out. And we don't have any way of delay or nothing, and I'll say, oh, you meant fudge or something like that. And I'll apologize there, and he goes, kind of livens the show up sometimes, doesn't it? So he's okay with it, but we try to be pretty good. And the funny thing is now we talk about evolvement, and now we're here on a podcast on YouTube, and that's how everything is now, and it's neat, and we want to expand on that. And you have social media everywhere now that you guys really started getting into towards the end, but it's just amazing how that's changed things. But the thing with that is he doesn't care pretty much in a lot of respects. It just depends on how we're broadcasting on that. You can do things you don't really want to worry about. But yeah, that's the funny thing.
Yeah,
about
you
it.
think about that. We went from reel to reel in studio, trying to put together an hour program each Saturday night, rain or shine. To now we're doing live, we're doing camera, we're doing YouTube, we're doing Facebook. Whatever we're doing here is amazing that it has evolved that far. And then I watched last week, right in Newton, you guys were featured and had a chance to talk about the Adams County Speedway in front of a lot of fans in a lot of different ways. And, congratulations to you guys, too. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
One more thing on that, Alan, you're such a great representative starting this thing, and you're still a huge sponsor with Chat Mobility with us. We can't do it without you guys, but I'll mention it again that social media is so big, and now everything's broadcast every race, every track, stuff, and we're going to get to that, and I know we're going to talk about that.
Yep, we are.
Probably in a couple of weeks I'm going to meet with you. But that's the thing. Everything's gone to pay-per-view. There's all these channels. Next week will be, because we'll have the SLMR here, and that will be broadcast, so that'll kind of kick it off. But that's something that we know we have to evolve to, and I know you have experience with that because you're part of the Iowa Sports.
Iowa High School Sports Network, yes.
I never can't say that out right.
Yep.
So that's the thing, and I know you're very experienced in that, and you do such an awesome job with that because I watch all of them, and I usually text you a few times when you're doing that.
One thing that revolutionary, or that really came along with it, Alan's talking about the technology and the reel-to-reel to where we're at today was the drivers.
Yeah.
Because when we first started this, and we go there and
There you
recorded it was like the yep, nope stick. You ask them a question, put it in front of their face, and it was a yep and a nope.
Yeah.
And how fluid they got into that. And so when we started doing this, and we're 6-7 years into it, during heat races, when you go over to find heat races, they was seeking you out.
That's right.
And they wanted to talk, and they was very good at what they was doing, trying to line up. So the drivers came a long way with us as well as far as the production here, and it actually made this extremely easy to do.
Well, and I think part of that too, Rick, is the fact that these drivers had an opportunity to watch racing on Sunday, and they got to see all these interviews, and they got to see about, how do I get to talk about the sponsors of my car, and they wanted to be a part of that, right? I mean, the guys in NASCAR at that time, the Earnhardts, the Gordons, and who all those people were really setting the stage for these young guys to come in here and be able to do a lot of the same things, and they loved that part of it.
Yeah, we're talking about the changes, and this helmet here, Bob can talk about it real quick, is one of those examples. That was set up to be
an in-car camera, or in-car audio. So we were talking to the drivers from up top, and I think just because the evolution in our commitment, both Steve and Rick and I, and as we wanted to give the fans the total experience, NASCAR recognized us, Best Race Day communicators, and we went down there and told them what we did there, and some of those promoters were shocked of what we did and how we did it and stuff like that. But to see that being handed off to Evan, I remember Evan and Dre Hippel sitting up in there.
They used to go get our go-karts for us.
that and they were playing little. They were playing. They were actually, driving their cars as little Hot Wheels up there on the decks. So to see that all evolve and taking the show to the Kansas Speedway and to Iowa Speedway, for the engine races up there with Steve, that was just. We expanded outside the borders, and like Alan alluded to, those drivers wanted to be a part of our show, and we were just providing the platform for them to do that, to recognize their family and drivers and sponsors.
We'll probably dominate most of your time here, but there is one really cool story and I'm sorry, we all got our birth here at Adams County Speedway doing what we're doing, but they had a big race up at Greenwood several years ago, and Carl Edwards and Clint Boyer was there. The Kaziskis called. Bob went up top to help. Steve and I was over helping pit report. And during intermission, there was Carl Edwards and there was Clint Boyer there. And so we split them up. We came in front of the crowd, crossed the track, came in front of the crowd. Crowd's going nuts. There's 4,000 people there, and Steve's interviewing Clint Boyer. And so before I got on the mic with Carl Edwards, I looked down and I said, anything you don't want me to ask you about? And he said, I'm really tired of this Tony stuff. Just a week before, him and Tony got into it up at New Hampshire. Tony at the time was driving the Home Depot car.
That's right.
Carl was driving the Office Depot car.
Right.
I said, I'll stay away from it, Carl. Steve shot it over to me, and I said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with the driver of the number 99 Home Depot Ford. And he grabbed my mic, and he said, that is Office Depot. And, oh, my God. Anytime you hear the fans go,
yeah.
You screwed up.
Yeah.
So, about as loud as they did when Steve got hit by the bike,
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yeah, there's a story for you.
Oh,
so,
yeah. There's lots of stories.
Yeah,
of stories.
Yeah, we've talked before, and boy, yeah, gut punch with Steve was for me, that was for sure. But yeah, there were some pretty good stories. But in turn with that, you guys got to go to Daytona, like you said. I think there's a few stories from that involving Clint Boyer, I think,
well,
too.
Greg Hempel, we had a stag party there. Yeah, we had a stag party down there, yeah.
Never been here before.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they've never been here before. I wonder what this is like. We walk in, Lacey says, "Hey, Greg, you're back."
You're VIP.
How big a time that was for us is like I said, we got very blessed because Megan Miley was here.
Yep.
And she was just so impressed with not only the Speedway, the drivers, but we won that award not because of what we was doing, is because what the fair board got us to do. And we had great driver interviews. The drivers was helping us as well. So they took us down there, and I thought, all right, this is going to be a little podunk deal here. We'll get up here, and there'll be 30 people in the crowd, and we'll talk. We walk into this big auditorium that morning, and you look at the bulletin that they had out, and we're right behind Ray Abraham. I'm going, holy smokes, this is a big deal. You walk into that room, there must be 300 people in that room. So it was quite an honor, but like I said, we got it on the backs of everybody here at the fair board and the drivers that we represent.
Yeah, interesting. Do you think, from the time it started in 1996, 1995 to where we are today, 2024, and all the places that you guys, I kind of got out of it to the point where Bobby got to jump into it, and you guys just kind of took it and just went woof. And it was so amazing to watch that happen. I turned into being a baseball coach at that time, and wanted to take the opportunity to work with young kids and all that. But in the back of the mind, I'm still listening to the race show on Saturday nights and laughing and having a good time with everybody else. And the part that I really liked about it was I knew I had a piece of that. I knew where it was going to go, and I was proud of all the people that were behind it and really making it happen. And these people here at the Adams County Fair Board and Racing Association, you guys are just awesome, and being able to bring this out to everybody every Saturday night. And one of the things I want to just point out too is we do this with the Sydney, Iowa Rodeo as well. We sponsor the Sydney, Iowa Rodeo. It's a huge event in Southwest Iowa. We sponsor the Adams County Speedway with Chat Mobility. It's a huge thing to Southwest Iowa. If businesses like us do not step up to the plate to keep these things going, they all of a sudden start fizzling out, and we keep wondering why. Why are we losing all this stuff? How come Southwest Iowa doesn't have it? It's because businesses and people need to step up and help out, and you guys have got a great core right here.
I'll be the first to say amen, because people, what Chat Mobility does for us, it helps us immensely. And I'll mention also, Poets right there with them, and that's two of our huge sponsors. Now we have Iowa Corn coming in, and that's another one that's a no-brainer. And we started the Salute to Farming. Technically, Bob was the one that started that stuff, and Salute to Trucking came with it. And those are huge nights, and that's just amazing. Iowa Corn sponsored Iowa Speedway last week. They invited us over, got a bunch of stuff. But, those are the things, farming, that's why you see green everywhere now, and also because of Enogen and all that stuff was the same reason. How about that?
You had to pay to get on
I got to suck up some more.
I just think what a magic word.
But, talk about evolving. Dre Hampel, third generation. That logo right there, great design. We put corn in there as a no-brainer. I just that is the coolest logo now, and that's all part about everything's about corn. But Alan, I can't thank you enough for what you do with us here. It's that night is so huge. The kids' money grab. We add candy to it now too, because it's just
it's cool. It's really
funny,
cool.
But Velma does such a great job. Velma's here usually every week, and we appreciate it. So, but I just want to say thank you very much for that and how things evolved, and just
my three favorite promos here at the Adams County Speedway: Kids Money Grab, the Truckers Night, the 4 wide Truckers. That just screamed. That was awesome. And then the Farm Night with the e-car race on the front stretch. That was epic. Those were just, I'll go down into my racing memories big time.
I'm going to throw this one out here to you, Rick, because your brother and you guys love the King of the Hill. And take us through some of those races, because you guys got to race against each other a couple of times for sure, and it was so much fun, and I know there's some great stories there with it.
Oh, I let him win. I felt so sorry for him. No, we did. It was a celebrity race, and they put us in, and we had to find cars, and at that time, Jeremy Houck was running well. I think he was a track champion that year, and Steve got Jeremy to let him drive his car. And I know from when I built motors and I took Mike Amy's out for hot laps just to get a feel for that motor, his seat and I don't fit each other. And so I knew then that I needed a seat that really fit me. So I went over to Richard Rapey's, and Richard, God bless his heart, we've lost Richard too, but you know, they have a half moon comes around to protect your ribs.
Yeah.
That's supposed to fit really tight. I was putting my arm on his out here, and I didn't have the belts tight, so everything was moving back and forth in that car. And I had the lead going into the last lap, and the biggest thing that goes through your head is I can't wreck this guy's car.
That's right.
And I came down into turn one. We got the white flag, and Steve was up on the high side. I could hear him, but I couldn't see him. And we come up there, and the lady that run the newspaper at the time was on the bottom of the track. We was laughing at her. And I slowed up. About that time, I seen this blue car around me, and then he just got out beaming. I mean, that was for Thanksgivings for years. This trophy little came out, but it was such a fun place, you know. And the evolution that has started and where we're at today. I don't know if all the fans of Adams County Speedway that show up here every week to pay your money to watch the races and you're loyal to it, I don't know if you know how big a deal Adams County Speedway is in the racing world outside of Iowa.
There's a Fair Board member right there that made it all happen back in the day.
There it was. Hi, Mike.
Hey, Mikey.
Kara.
Yeah.
I forgot Kara's name too.
Yeah.
But this is a huge thing. You know, when we went to Daytona, there was people that heard you. There's people that listen to Evan, and I still can't believe Evan is got the mic when he was this tall, and he used to go and get my 24 go-kart for me, and golf cart for me, and come over. So just thank you so much for Steve. His family will be here tonight, I think, awesome. His wife Renee, and want to thank you guys so much for this honor.
Go ahead, guys. Well, tell you what, we'll get Evan over here, and we'll get a commercial break in, because I still got some more for you guys to do. I want to get Rick Bissell on here. You guys can help interview Rick. But I tell you what, Lori's ready back there at the studio. We're going to take another quick commercial break, and we'll be right back here with Pitside Live.
On 95.3 KCSI.
Are you interested in starting a career instead of just getting another job? Well, hop on over to Fresco System USA and let us help you find the one for you. We offer competitive wages, benefits starting day one, and so much more. You can pick up an application at 2026 Fernwood Avenue. Find us on Indeed, Better Team, and Facebook, or call 712-623-8100, extension 6659. Spring into action and join the Fresco team today.
No matter what your insulation needs are, Heartland Foam Insulators is your go-to company. From removal to blow-in to foam, they are ready to go to work for you in any type of building, whether it be an existing house, new construction, a metal building, commercial building, or a unique project. Call Heartland Foam Insulators today at 712-623-4515 or heartlandfoam.com.
Since 1892, Malvern Bank has been building community from 404 Main Street in Malvern, Iowa. For generations, Malvern Bank has been serving local businesses, families, and farms to help them achieve their goals in every step of their lives. From saving for college to planning for retirement and everything in between, Malvern Bank is your full-service community bank, here to help as you plan for the next chapter of your life. Call, click, or stop in today to apply for an account, loan, or credit card. Malvern Bank, we build community. Member FDIC, equal.
Furniture, appliances, mattress sets, lift chairs, bedding, recliners, and more. S&S Appliance, your
Lori, if you can hear me, just let me know. How long we got? Okay.
It's how long do we have?
furniture, appliances, mattress sets, lift chairs, bedding, recliners, and more. S&S Appliance, your hometown furniture store in Clarinda, just received a large shipment of appliances. They have a huge selection of stoves, refrigerators, chest freezers, and microwaves. And if you need a mattress set, they have them. Plus bamboo sheet sets. They offer full service from start to finish with competitive price guarantee. S&S Appliance also offers delivery and installation. Stop by S&S Appliance on the square in downtown Clarinda.
I got you.
Yeah, we can always do that one.
Tone it down.
Welcome back, race fans, to Pitside live here at Adams County Speedway in Corning, Iowa. And I'm going to turn it over to the bopper, Bob Harris here, and they're going to just run this thing. They don't need me.
Race fans, it's a beautiful night here at the Adams County Speedway on a Saturday night. Make sure it's coming out here at the Hall of Fame night. We're here at the Dusty Whitehead studio here on Pitside Live on 95.3 KCSI. We have got the Hall of Famers night here. We're going to bring Rick the Missile Bissell, number 44, to the table here. Rick, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And congratulations.
Well, thank you, and thank for the voters for putting us all in.
When I first heard that, I thought, well, now I'm really old. Do you feel that same way?
Yep. He likes it, though.
But